This podcast is brought to you by powdered water. What even is it? And by mopping. Why don't you do it more often?
All right. We've made it to the...
What?
Dude, what the fuck? You always do this, man. Quit eating. You're supposed to be DMing right now.
DMing is hard, okay?
What?
I'm like hungry and stuff.
Dude, nobody wants to hear your freaking bootleg dinner because you didn't make yourself dinner, so now you're eating cereal.
Yeah, this is Kashi Go Crush, alright? No, not Crunch, Crush.
Kashi go fuck. I don't care. DM.
Alright, so you guys... Hold on. Alright, so you guys are in the lair of the ghost of your former master, Ikidaki. And he's summoned a demon from another realm.
Okay.
And he's now trying to kill you. Asura, it's your turn.
Alright, fuck. I guess I'm just gonna take my katana of the night and just roll that attack. See how I do. Nice.
Don't forget he has the armor of Akugama, which is -1 to all katanas if it's past the solstice, which it is.
It's past the... Okay, well, I mean, I rolled fucking baller, so I still hit him, right?
Yeah, that's a hit.
All right, cool.
I thought
Nice.
it was the summer solstice. This is only impacted when it's the winter solstice.
No, it's the solstice. Well, let's we can look it up later.
Actually, doesn't matter. Still hit him. Still rolled good.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and roll your damage there.
All right. Boom. Nice.
Oh wow,
That's
good.
18 piercing. 18 piercing. Nice.
Okay. Okay, but he's got he has 35% resistance to piercing damage, and also 18% of that damage gets reflected back to you.
What?
Are you remembering that I played my ocarina to reduce that percentage by half?
Oh shit, no. Okay. So that's what
so
is
it's
that?
35 divided by 2.
17 and a half.
Round it up.
No, okay, yeah, round up. Always round up. So it's 18, and then half of 18 is 9. Okay, so 9% of 18. That's what is that, 2? That's like 2, I think. 1. I don't know.
Yeah, plus I doubled that because I played the Song of the Sun, and it's the solstice, so it doubles.
Damn, son.
So 4.
See what I did there? Get it? Damn, son.
Yeah. Ha ha ha. But what does this mean, dude? Like, I'm new to this fucking edition. I don't even understand why they decided it was a good idea to add percentages. Like, do I hit them? I hit them for 4 now? That's
it's because the community was complaining about things being too simple with just a -2 or a -1. It's like they want the gritty details of what it's like to be in a feudal Japan being overrun by demons. So here we are.
I mean, really, think
18.
about it realistically. Like, if you're in feudal Japan, you're going to do 35% of damage against someone who's wearing armor like that, especially with a piercing weapon. So, do the math, buddy.
I mean, I don't really get it. This is like...
No, it's right. Once you get into it, you get used to it, man. Like, once you start remembering just all the shit, then it's really intuitive and really rewarding. Like, there's nothing like spending 20 minutes calculating a damage formula, and then your hit slays the enemy. That's payoff right there, buddy.
I sent you like 4 of the books. Didn't you get that?
Yeah, I got them, but I haven't had time to read them all yet. I mean, fuck, they're like 800 pages each. And
they're only like 300 pages each, okay? Like, just like cancel your plans for one weekend, and you can just do that. Like, just do it for like 4 weekends. Just read like a book a weekend. That's not... Do you want to play the game or not?
I mean, I want to play the game. You guys are the ones who talked me into this just because I thought it'd be fun to hang out, but I didn't know I had to take it this goddamn seriously. And yeah, you know what? They might only be 300 pages each, but you didn't tell me about like the super like appendix that I had to get for the fucking augmentations to the spiritual nebula. Like, I don't understand all this bullshit. It's too crazy.
It's really, it's not the same game without the spiritual nebula appendix.
All right. Well, I mean,
actually, they released a retcon today for the spiritual nebula appendix.
No shit.
It's actually so it's actually during all the solstices, depending on the element that your weapon is infused with, your damage can double or triple depending on how well you've attuned to it over the years.
Dude, like, I don't even fucking.
This game's awesome. I was waiting for this, man. I was waiting for them to like really throw a game changer at us, and then they did it. Triple the soul. It's genius. Double or triple damage based on infusion during the solstice. Like, of course.
So if your dust spear is infused with moon power, then it's really a one-hit kill for this guy.
Yeah, but he's got the runes of regret, which gives him a +2. Well, it'd be -2 to your damage if you've eaten meat today.
I told you, dude. I told you we shouldn't have stopped at that fucking banquet, dude. We needed to get to the. I don't even remember where we are. Where are we right now?
Oh yeah, I forgot about the banquet. You guys both have itis right now, so that's like a -5 to your roll.
Shit.
I think you missed, and because you missed, he gets a counterattack with his flaming green fist. So I'm just gonna. Yeah, get ready, buddy. Here comes. Oh, big 24 in your face. So that's going to be, he gets a +3 for every month that has passed since the semi-solstice, which is...
what?
4, 3,
that's not even a thing. Hold on.
It's part of the lore. Did you read the Gazetteer?
It was in the Gazetteer, page 43, right here.
Yeah, page 43.
Page 43. Hold on. I got it too. Hold on.
Just use the PDF. You just type in 43 and you're there.
Well,
but don't forget that one time about let's see, we've been playing for about a year and a half. Yeah, about 6 months ago, you picked up a necklace that, when tapped, sets you to the spectral realm, and you can use it once per 6 weeks in-game, 6 in-game weeks, and it sends you to the spectral realm, and you can avoid damage.
Well, you used it once already, and it's only been like 3 hours since then. Game time.
That was like 8 months ago.
Yeah, but you guys, I mean, time is different. I mean, what have you guys really done? You came to town, you ate at a banquet, that was like 2 hours, and then you infiltrated the lair, the manor of your former master, and so it's like 3 hours.
That's true. That's only like 4 hours.
Yeah. Okay, dude. Whatever. All right, I have a lot of reading to catch up on, but what's the bottom line? What just happened? What did I do, or what didn't I do?
You tried to hit him and you missed because of lots of different things, lots of awesome things that make this game awesome. And then he counterattacked, and I think you're... Wait, it's 2d8 plus 2d8 plus 2d8, and each one of those is +5. So is that a 40... 49. Yeah, are you dead? Are you still alive?
I'm fucking dead, and I hate this game, and I'm never playing it again.
Nah, it's not over, man. You've got the amulet of Agatha that can bring you back if AJ can complete the summoning ritual before the next dawn. You got lots of stuff.
Okay, fine, whatever. I'm not even sure I care that much at this point, but I guess AJ, go ahead and do the ritual.
All right.
guess.
Well, the summoning ritual only works on monks who were born in the northern hemisphere.
All right. Okay.
Were you a monk born in the northern hemisphere, or were you born in the southern hemisphere of this planet?
He was born in South Maw. Or was it West?
Oh, that's right on the border.
Is it West Maw? West Maw.
Oh, I gotta look it up. Hang on.
Well, actually, you know what? This part I got because when we were building our characters, I tried to keep up with you guys and make a fascinating lore. So yeah, I was born in the West Maw, but what you guys?
Oh, West Maw.
What,
See,
but what
that
you get,
doesn't count though.
No. Don't forget that part of West Maw used to be north, but it was conquered. So technically, geographically, I am in the north, even though as far as like the boundaries of the principality, it's considered the west.
But were you
right? But
were you?
But 300 years ago, the axis of the planet was shifted, and now that's part of the.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's later. That's later. That's in the new the appendix, man. That's in the edited appendix.
The edited appendix.
The revised appendix.
You didn't tell me to get that one. I didn't know there was an edited one.
I sent you that email last week. It took like 3 minutes to send because it was like 4 gigs or something. Did you open that?
Let me check.
All right. Were you? It doesn't matter. Were you when you were a monk? Were you cloistered or non-cloistered? Because that makes a big difference.
Yeah, I mean, I was cloistered. I was like an orphan that was dropped off at the doorsteps, and they took me in.
You're fucking dead then, man. I'm sorry. He's got the brutal redemption, which is all cloistered monks that he reduces to 0 hit points are instantly killed. No ifs, ands, or buts, bud. Sorry.
Sorry, you're dead. I do have one more item though. I can try.
All right, it's your turn anyway. So Broku, tell me how you're gonna avenge Asura's death.
I hit him with my sword.
Cool. Roll it.
16 damage. Oh, like that's my attack.
Yeah. No, you need
203 damage. He should be dead.
203. Wow. That's triple. That's the revised appendix. That's the good.
That's the solstice and my ocarina song that I played a couple weeks ago. It should still be in effect because we've only been in game time about 4 hours, and that's my my owl buddy who has infused his soul with my sword, and because I was born in the northern hemisphere during the time of the snow falling.
Yes, the fifth snow falling. The fifth falling.
Right. Yep. And then my weapon is an ice weapon, so it's triple damage, and he is a golem that is weak against freeze damage, and therefore quadruple damage.
Now, see, Marcus, this is what's possible when you really put the work in. He just did 203 damage to this demon lord, and and you're dead. So like that's the difference between putting the work in and like I don't know. You said you wanted to play, so
yeah. Are you sure you're cut out for this?
Fuck you guys. Fuck this game.
Oh wait, hold on. Sorry, AJ. He had Armor of Madness, so his armor rating is like 30. So like actually you missed, and counter attack. That's 60. Oh my god, 73 damage. Your head explodes, man, cause of your race. If you take over 25% of your total HP below 0, then your head just explodes because of a mana rupture.
You know what? Fuck this game. Quit.
All right, let's call it here for tonight. We'll chat. We'll chat this week. Maybe we can. I mean, you guys got to roll new characters, so we'll talk about that. All right. I gotta go. Bye, guys.
Welcome to the Bro Otaku podcast. I am your host, AJ. With me is Marcus.
What's up?
And Alan.
Nope.
I hope you guys like that little bit of, what would you call that? A play on D&D? Something like that.
That was from the makers of AT&T and A. We bring you ADD&D.
ADD&D. So it's perfect. So, if you want the rules for that, you can buy the book at addandd.d/book and order it today. It's only 400,000 pennies
Per page.
All right, today we're going to talk about the anime that basically launched us into anime fandom, what our experiences were when we were first kind of exposed to anime, I guess. And what hooked us and what kept us coming back for more, so to speak. We didn't talk about who was going to kick this one off. I can kick it off if you guys want, or whoever is ready to share.
I will not be kicking it off. So
okay.
that
Alan's not
leaves
kicking it off.
That leaves two.
Go for it, AJ. You can do it.
Okay, I'll kick it off. This is a very vivid memory for me for some reason. It was my old high school buddy, Jason, lived down the street from a Hollywood Video, and we walked down there, and I mean, put into perspective, this was probably mid to late 90s, I guess, somewhere around there, and video games were obviously an awesome thing at the time. And any time that you could find like a cartoon or a movie or something that resembled the awesomeness of video games, that was something that was like right up my alley, right? So Final Fantasy was a big game at the time. And so at the video store, I saw a VHS copy of Final Fantasy, and I think it was called the Crystal...
Crystal Chronicle?
No. Not Crystal Chronicles.
No, Crystal Chronicles was a whack, like N64 game or something.
Oh yeah,
like
that's right.
GameCube maybe.
I think it was Legend of the Crystals. Yeah, that's definitely what it was. And I was like, oh yeah, Final Fantasy, a cartoon. Like we're gonna get all this awesome video game action in cartoon form. It's gonna be super awesome, voice acting and everything, animation. Got it, took it home, and it was probably the worst anime still to this date that I've ever seen.
Wow.
It was bad.
Final Fantasy has a long history of making
it wasn't even
features.
relatively good. Like you couldn't even salvage any of it.
Was it like bad dialogue, bad animation?
Honestly, it's been so long that I don't really remember. I just remember it was terrible. Like it was not enjoyable at all. I think it was especially bad dubbing. At one point there was like crystals shining in this girl's ass for some reason. I don't remember why exactly.
In or on?
Hold up, what?
They were like from inside. It was glowing, like on her butt.
So the crystals were inside her, but it was
something like that.
Glowing out of her
cheeks.
And like the cover looks awesome. Like it's this dude like swinging this sword, like moving super fast.
Yeah, I know exactly what the cover looks like. I remember seeing that cover.
Yeah, this is gonna be badass, and no, it was bad. But the thing that kept me coming back was the previews, and I remember the previews had like all this crazy animation and like super like adult stuff. Like at the time, like adult cartoons weren't really a thing in America. Like you had The Simpsons, and that was pretty much as adult as it got. But like this was like Wicked City and like all those crazy movies that came out around that time that had really like bizarre
Christ.
monsters and like blood and
Yeah.
titties and everything. So it wasn't the show, but it was the previews. I was like, I gotta figure out what those those previews are all about. And then shortly after that, it was only a matter of just finding those movies and those shows and checking it out. And then from there, it was pretty much, that was it. So Ninja Scroll, I think,
yes,
the early movies.
Scroll is the holy grail, man.
Yeah, it is.
Ninja Scroll is, if you're not into anime, watch some Ninja Scroll. And if you don't like it, then anime is just not for you, because it's got everything that anime fans can and should love. It's got the action, it's got the blood, it's got the story. The story's pretty good. It just hits all the marks.
Yeah, Ninja Scroll was the first VHS anime that I ever bought. The very first one. And it was
and that's a good choice.
You had to be like a teenager when you bought it. How did you even buy that?
Yeah, I mean,
this was the 90s, man. Before people cared what young people consumed.
Dude,
before the words mental health meant anything.
Yeah, dude. I mean, all of the people that would have cared about me getting my hands on that didn't even know what the fuck was happening. They were like, it's a cartoon. And then the dude behind that counter who probably knew what was up was just like, oh yeah, welcome, motherfucker.
Yeah. That's what it was like, this underground like community of people, and they're like, oh man, you're into anime? Yeah, this is a good one. And like nobody really was open about their anime fandom, but like when you found someone who was, like, they knew all the stuff. I'll never forget, I was in Media Play one time before they all shut down, and I was just checking out the anime section.
I forgot Media Play was a thing.
Yeah, no, right?
They had a lot of anime, but it was all like overpriced, so
yeah.
Well,
it was all overpriced at the time.
I mean, it was all mall stores back then. That was our only connect was the mall stores, and the mall stores are just jacked up to begin with.
But this dude was standing in the anime aisle, and he just starts telling me like the entire story of Trigun, like totally unprompted.
I could just imagine what this dude looked like.
He was like, I might never get this chance again.
Oh, he looked like you probably think he looked like.
He had long hair. It was greasy. He had a Keanu Reeves like goatee, like a Bill and Ted's.
Yeah, glasses, big dude wearing like old dingy shorts and a dingy t-shirt.
Ugh.
Like, yeah, this dude was quintessential anime fan. But like, I was totally into what he was talking about because he was explaining Trigun. It's like, oh dude, it's got this dude with a cross and there's guns in it, and he pops them out and just starts blasting dudes, and yeah, it was sold me on it. To
his defense, Trigun is a good ass anime.
Trigun is amazing.
I was thinking about Trigun a couple weeks ago and how much I enjoyed it, and how I'm wondering if it still holds up.
You want to know something? Trigun to this day probably is one of my favorite anime openings.
You know what else I enjoyed a lot was Outlaw Star.
Outlaw Star is
good.
Except for that one chick talking about Kataro. Like, why?
Yeah, she was obnoxious, but you know, in the catalog of obnoxious anthropomorphic anime characters, she's still pretty low for me. Like, there's a lot of other ones that are way worse. Like, I don't know if you ever watched Escaflowne. Freaking Merle from Escaflowne is terrible.
Nope, I'm not that deep.
Escaflowne I never got into. Like, I always knew it was on.
It's a mecha, right?
Yeah. What's dope about it is it's like a medieval fantasy mecha. So all of the mechs are actually magical / mechanical. So they all run on like gears and springs and stuff like that. Plus they're powered by dragon hearts called Energis. It's dope. I have it all on DVD if you ever want to borrow it.
Okay.
It's the shit.
Put that on the to-do list.
Say what?
You
didn't get that new Blu-ray edition?
No, I haven't updated that one yet because I bought this. Man, I mean, remember back in the day when they used to sell those DVD box sets in like the big plastic cases?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I have.
Dang.
That's when I bought
it. Fortune for it too.
Yeah, dude. I can't even remember how much I paid for that. I don't even want to think about it.
But that was the thing, and like around that time, it was so like we were kind of born in like the perfect anime fan age because like anime was becoming more popular, but it wasn't quite like totally mainstream.
Right.
But there were hints of it here and there. So like right around that time after we were getting into like the movies, like Toonami came on.
Yeah.
And they had like Dragon Ball Z and Ronin Warriors.
It really was. It was kind of like everything that was happening was for us.
Exactly. It was
just
shaping
like,
who we
oh,
would become.
we're getting. No, it was like they did it. Everything they did was like for us. Like, oh, we're starting to get into anime. Oh, look, there's anime on Cartoon Network now. It was like they were just feeding it to us.
They had their fingers on the pulse, man.
Yeah,
they did.
Yeah, no, it's true. I mean, I know it wasn't just us, but it felt like that. It was just like, oh, they're just they're giving me everything I need to keep this going.
But I think life's just kind of like that in general, because anytime somebody's interested in anything and they finally find it, then it just feels like it pops up everywhere for that specific person.
This is true.
Well, and then the thing that got me into anime, which was basically video games, like video games started taking more from anime itself. So like, Alan, you remember when we got the PS2?
Yep.
Everyone was hyped for like whatever game, I don't even know. Like we were on that Zone of the Enders, Bouncer, like those like heavily anime inspired games that were just, even people, disrespect those games to this day. Bless Zone of the Enders, but people hated the Bouncer. Those games were fun.
We played the shit out of the Bouncer. I don't care what anybody says. The Bouncer was innovative. It was the only game to make proper use of, I don't even know if they still have these on modern controllers. The PS2 had analog buttons. Yeah, so like depending on how hard you press the button, it made a difference. And the Bouncer used that as like mash, a light tap of circle versus a hard mash gave you a different move, and it was awesome.
Yeah, it was great, and it was the only game that I know of. I'm sure there's been others, but it's the only game I know of that if you change the language from like English to Japanese, the voice, the mouths of the characters would change to match the voices.
Oh wow.
So it wasn't like it was just dubbed over whatever animation they had for Japanese. It was literally changing like the animation of the mouths.
That was like
in.
Before the time where everything was like efficiency and
exactly
and
where
cost.
You still actually put effort and love.
When they used to put the love into it, like, oh, we're gonna do this, and they were probably like, that's insane. But they were like, no, it'd be worth it,
like,
and it probably wasn't worth it, and that's why they don't do it anymore. But
right, a lot of it was because we can, like, oh, we can do this now in this PS2 era. We can have this detailed animation and these detailed characters.
Yeah, man, you got to mind the new technology when it comes out.
We've got 2 gigabytes of disk space. What are we gonna do with it?
That's a big deal, man.
So
the game was cool.
Yeah, that's cool. So, Alan, are you ready to share?
Yeah.
Or shall I?
So I think the first, I don't know which came first, but I think it was Ghost in the Shell. I had a friend. We were into like, we were into games, and like we went to Blockbuster. We'd like stay up late and eat junk and just watch whatever. So one night we got Ghost in the Shell, and I was just like, what is this? And it was like, oh, cartoons, whatever. But then, just the beginning, man, she like falls out of that window and like sprays a room full of like diplomats or whatever. And there's this brief instant where like, it's like maybe 10 frames of animation. But she's got like double SMGs or something. She's spraying this room full of dudes in suits. And this one guy's head just explodes. And I was probably like 15 or something. I was just like, whoa. And then it goes into like, the whole crazy intro where like she's being rebuilt in the vat. And it's just like, cartoon nudity. And I'm just like, this is amazing. And then the movie goes on to be awesome. And I was just like, yeah, I need more of this. And then Ninja Scroll. And it's just like, that was like the double whammy for me. That was like, yeah, I'm about this.
And Ghost in the Shell hit a lot of those like existential ideas.
Oh yeah, I ate that shit up when I was a teenager. Anything that was just like, what is this life for, and what are we doing, and
right, it feeds right into your teenage angst.
Oh yeah. No, it was
Ghost in the Shell totally.
It was tailor made for exactly the kind of shit I was into. And it like makes you feel smart. Like, oh, I'm into that. I must be smart. I don't like it just a straightforward plot. I like ambiguity, and so yeah, I ate it up. And then Ninja Scroll comes along with just the ridiculous violence and the like, honestly, like way totally inappropriate for kids, but like nudity and
sexuality that is definitely not consensual.
Yeah. So there's that scene, and then there's the chick with the snakes. She's got snake tattoos, and they're like slithering across her body, and she's naked, and I'm just like, it was just so gratuitous. But I'm a teenager, so I'm like, this is great. And it didn't get weird. It was all fine until Wicked City, and I remember it didn't feel wrong until Wicked City, and I was like, oh, I've gone too far. I need to you
gotta dial it back.
Yeah, I need to reconsider. I need to think a little harder about this, because like it's venturing into like porn, like I didn't know what hentai was. It was just like, this is a little too much. The thing that shocked me was in Wicked City there's this like horny old man, which like fine, whatever, but then there's this like spider demon lady who like consumes the guys that she has sex with or something. So her and this old guy are doing it, and like he's got his hands on her breasts, and they just start melting around his hands, and I was just like, what? I was like, no. I was not.
That's a new level.
I was not ready for that, and it changed me.
It scarred me.
Yeah, and I mean the movie just gets weirder from there. I don't know how much else I remember from that movie.
You remember a lot more from it than I do. I'm pretty sure I watched it with you.
Well, I mean, that says a lot that I remember that much detail about that specific scene, because, yeah, it was just like, whoa, let's hold the phone.
I'm pretty sure I've watched that movie more than once.
I've seen it probably at least 3 times.
Wow.
And I think it was showing it to other people.
Right now, yeah.
It was like, oh, you gotta experience this.
No, yeah, that's how it was back then. It was like, you saw something crazy, and it was like, dude, you guys gotta watch this. It's so absurd.
God, there's just something about VHS tapes from places unknown that just add mystique to it. You come over to somebody's house with a VHS with some artwork on it, you're not even ready for it. It's like, oh, this is going to be good. I feel like DVDs and Blu-rays don't hold the same appeal. I guess that's what torrent files are for now these days.
I guess, but it's not the same as like carrying a VHS in. And like, even if it was like a bad horror movie, like I think me and my friend watched this movie called like Sleepaway Camp. And it's like, oh, this is going to be a horror film. It's going to be crazy. And it ended up being like super bizarre.
It was an anime?
Like, we still watched the whole thing. No, it wasn't an anime. It was like just a regular American horror movie. And it was bizarre, but we still watched the whole thing because, hey, we rented this movie. We're going to watch the whole thing.
Yeah. It's like, what else are you going to do?
Right. It's not like you can turn it off and find something else to stream. It's like, this is what we got. And if we don't do this, we're not going to have anything to do. So, endure.
Yeah, we weren't drowning in options back then like we are today.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of sad too, because like you experience a lot of different things when you don't have a lot of options.
Right.
Like these days, it's like, oh, I want to do this and I'm going to do that and nothing's going to stop me because it's right here at my fingertips. Whereas back then, it's like, oh, this is what I got. I remember one time renting, I wanted to rent Mega Man X from Blockbuster. and I accidentally grabbed Mega Man Soccer instead.
No.
And that game was actually terrible, so I was kind of pissed. So we went back and exchanged it, but yeah, it's like if I didn't have the option to go back and exchange it, it's like, man, I'm just stuck with this game for 5 days, and then I got to return.
That happened to us a few times. We rented something, had a blast with the rental, and then bought the game. It was just like, oh, this 3 days in, awesome. 5 days in, not
so much.
Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey. Prime
that
example.
was the one.
Yeah.
I was gonna say that same thing.
And there was a Mortal Kombat too. I think it was the first 3D Mortal Kombat. We bought it. I no questions asked. I was just like, $60. This is my lunch money or my allowance or whatever. And then like 2 days in, I was just like, no thanks.
Yep.
I don't know. That was,
you're stuck with it and you played the whole thing anyway.
That was a transition, man, where like everything that you thought was going to be fun, you didn't necessarily enjoy. Like when expectations became like a detriment to enjoying things. Devil May Cry 2.
Yeah.
But
Marcus, what's your anime story?
Oh man, so I've always been infatuated and fascinated by animation ever since I can remember. So, back in the day, I remember watching like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Rescue Rangers, DuckTales, and all that stuff. Like, just always loved cartoons. And then one day, I think it was like a Sunday, probably getting ready for church or something, and this show comes on that I never heard of before. And like the opening is this cool kind of science fiction-y music, like early 90s science fiction, if you can imagine that. And it was like this guy
Did
that
it
had
have a
this
guitar solo?
Say what?
Did it have a guitar solo?
This one actually didn't. No, it was
Okay.
it was a little bit closer to like Mega Man's opening, except a little more moody and slower.
All right.
So a lot of like pseudo synth sounds, but not like super heavy synth. But anyway, I just remember that like the opening had this dude that basically had this mech suit that fitted right around him, and he'd be flying around through space like cutting these monsters open and stuff, and it was nuts. That show was Techno Man, and at the time I didn't understand that it was an anime, but I just knew that there was something different about the cartoon because like it had this crazy opening where the animation was all good, the music was like dark and somber and futury, and then even like watching the show, like it felt like it had real emotions and real drama. I remember there was like an episode where I think like the main love interest chick like dies, or they think she died. Like she got like sliced down by the main antagonist of the story, and like the dude freaks out. And I'm just like, what is this show? I don't understand why this show is like juxtaposed to these American kids cartoons that I'm watching half an hour before. So anyway, it wasn't until a long time after that I realized that was an anime. So I was like, oh, I liked anime ever since I was like friggin' 8. But yeah, I mean, like most of the people in our generation, the thing that really got me into anime was that good old Dragon Ball Z on Toonami. It was the first show, I believe, that I treated like a serial series, meaning I watched it in sequence to find out what was going to happen next in this arc or saga or whatever. And I watched a lot of TV growing up. I didn't have cable. So like on the regular channels, a lot of the shows that they play, they show them out of sequence, So like Darkwing Duck is on, they might air like episode 1 and then episode 5 and episode 10 and then go back to 2.
Yeah.
I don't really know why they did that. It didn't really matter because those shows didn't follow like a serial drama. They were just episodic. Every episode was like a monster of the week sort of thing. Every once in a while on a special occasion they do a to be continued. But
yeah, that was a big deal when they split it into 2 parts.
Yeah, and I mean, you even have the X-Men cartoon, which started doing that later. It became less and less of a monster of the week and more towards like serialized arcs. But it wasn't until DBZ where I was like going home, like I have to see the next episode.
Yeah,
that was the first anime that I downloaded episodes from the internet. You know, before streaming services, for any kids listening out there, we would go to anime fan sites and download horrible quality AVIs that you had to have a certain codec or XVID.
Yeah, you had to download the codec.
Yeah, thing in order to play.
Player.
And the sound was terrible. It sounded like it was like in a tin can.
Yeah,
a million miles away.
Tin can artifacty, like the visuals were artifacty. Like you'd be lucky if you were watching a stream that had a resolution of like, I don't even know, 320 by 240.
Yeah, that was high quality.
Like it was just terrible. Like I remember watching all of Cell Game before it came out over here on Toonami. I remember watching that whole saga of DBZ like on a computer, face probably like 6 inches away from the screen, trying to figure out like, oh shit, this is when Gohan goes Super Saiyan 2. He's about to do it.
It was so foreign. Like watching a show in Japanese, it just felt like it was from a different planet. Like anything that you found that wasn't American.
Yeah, you felt like you were in like a different dimension, or you felt, it was like the thrill of like sneaking out of your house when you were supposed to be like in bed. It was just kind of like, nobody knows what I'm doing. What would they say if they knew?
Yeah, dude, I remember like whole weekends, like if none of my friends were doing anything and my parents were just gone and I was super bored, I remember just scouring the internet for like the next episode of the saga or whatnot, and like legit doing nothing for 2 hours while I waited for the episode to buffer so I could watch that shit.
Fill up.
Like that was my Saturday. And like when it finally happened, when you were able to ingest the whole episode, it really felt like you were doing something special.
Yeah.
Like you earned it, you worked for it. So it was kind of like, to be an anime fan of that caliber back in the day was like a badge of honor, you know? So, I mean, that just kicked it off. And then like in high school, you know, we would get together and have anime nights where we would watch all the stuff you guys are talking about, like Wicked City and
crazy shit
and Ninja Scroll and all that shit.
What was the one? It ended with the dude getting impaled on the building.
Was it Golgo 13?
No, I don't think I ever saw Golgo 13. They made a game based on it too, right?
Was it Sin?
Yes, it was Sin.
Sin sucked. Sin sucked so bad.
What was the one with the dog?
I'll never forget watching Golgo 13 with a bunch of dudes there, and that helicopter scene where it's like it's 3D. Like the whole movie is like, you know, old-fashioned 2D animation.
Yeah.
And then they throw in this like 3D modeled helicopter, and it totally like breaks the immersion. It was so bad, but it was hilarious. Well, I'll never forget that.
Well, yeah, just to be clear, it was the Golgo 13. I think it was the first movie, not
it was the movie,
not the series and not the second movie, Queen Bee. But yeah, I mean, that was like, I mean, we were watching, Golgo might have been 10 or 15 years old by the time that we watched it, even in high school. So
yeah, it was older, definitely.
So yeah, I mean, man, I guess they were just happy that CG was finally a thing.
They're like, we gotta put this.
But it did not look good.
We did it, guys.
It was terrible.
We merged good quality animation with shitty 3D polygons.
But the stuff like that, like it was enjoyable still, even though it was.
Yeah, there was a lot of hate watching and like irony in the it's in the movies that we watched. But even if it was bad, it was like bad in a ridiculous anime sort of way. So like, AJ, I know you remember the guy. I would love it if one of you could tell me the name. But the guy's like, he's fighting this dude in a lake, or I think, and he's like, he starts like powering up or whatever, and he says secret power.
Oh yeah, shit. What's that from? Oh
and
no!
He got so weak.
Is that not from one of the Dragon Ball movies?
No, it was.
Nuh-uh.
I mean, maybe it was before I knew what Dragon Ball was, or it was just like a. No, he had like a sword though. I think it was like a Dragon Ball samurai.
Shit, dude.
Thing.
I know what you're talking about. I remember watching it, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember watching it too, but I can't remember. I wanted to say it was Bastard, but it probably wasn't.
It wasn't
I don't think it was
Bastard.
Bastard. I think it was like something we watched like one time. Because I remember a lot from Bastard.
Yeah.
Bastard had a lot of great lines.
Well, Bastard's just amazing.
Yeah.
Go watch Bastard. If you haven't watched Bastard, get some friends, watch Bastard, and laugh.
Yeah. Yes. Do yourself a favor.
Yeah, I can't remember that secret power one. But that was the thing. Like you would get these movies, you wouldn't know what you were getting.
Oh yeah,
And you didn't really care. It's like, oh, this is anime.
Rolling the
like,
dice.
I'm going to enjoy it in some capacity.
Yeah.
Well, you hoped it was good. You hoped it was the next thing that you were going to salivate over. But even if it wasn't, I think just the thing that's also attractive about anime is that the sensibility to treat animation in such a way that like exploits the fact that it's animation. And that you can just do things that are wacky and unorthodox. Like, it doesn't have to really live within a realm that makes sense or is normal or relatable. You know, there's just so many things that happen in anime, and it's just like, what? Like, you did that? Like, freaking Ninja Scroll. It's a super adult, very dark, gritty, dramatic, violent anime. But they took the time to like make a dude who turned into stone and had a boomerang sword that would cleave people in half. like a Western cartoon's just not gonna do that. They're not gonna have anything like that.
It doesn't have to make sense, but it has to be awesome, and it usually is.
And they commit to it so hard that you just go for it, and when that scene happens, you don't even laugh at it. You're just like, damn, that's actually kind of cool.
Oh yeah, no, it was the coolest. It was one of the coolest things I had ever seen when I first saw it. If not the coolest. Like, like never mind like the subject matter, like the content, just the quality of the animation,
right?
Compared to what we were used to, was just like, it was jaw dropping. You've never seen anything like it, and I mean, even today, like like we've seen some good ass animation, but like. I mean, Ninja Scroll still looks good as hell.
It's still impressive is the main thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's no less impressive today than it was the day that it was, like, released.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Yeah. Shit, I was just thinking of some other anime that looked really good, too. Go ahead, AJ.
I was going to share another anime that looks really good, and it was one of our anime nights. And I had to get up in the morning or something, so I was like laying down trying to fall asleep. And then everyone in the room's like, oh shit, like going nuts over this scene. And it's like, I have to watch it. And you know what it was? It was Trusted Betrayal, Rurouni Kenshin.
Yep.
The first scene where the samurai, his master, just comes in
Hiko
and starts
Seijiro.
shotting people up. God, that was so good.
Yeah, that is.
And that was around the time where it was like, you're finding these things, and it's, you're looking for the gems, and that was one of the gems.
That to this day is one of my favorite anime, the Kenshin OVAs. They're so good. And the funny thing about it was it starts off super violent like that, but most of the movie is pretty dry because it's about this like somber tale of how this guy, it's his origin story. Basically, Kenshin is the swordsman with a cross-shaped scar on his face who doesn't kill. He uses a reverse blade sword. Well, before that, he used to kill a bunch of people. He was an assassin. This is the story of the drama he goes through from being an assassin who kills people indiscriminately to a guy that vows to never kill again. It was like dry and heavy and sad and deep, and I didn't like it any less when I found out that was the story versus, I thought this was just going to be like a slash fest. Like, it had just enough of that good action in it to like satisfy you, but then the rest of it was just pure art. And it's just like, what cartoon is that?
And having that be the prequel to, the Rurouni Kenshin series, which is kind of goofy.
Yeah.
And like completely, like the animation style is completely different. It was just, it was, and that was the first thing I saw before I saw the Kenshin the series.
Yeah, same here.
I saw the OVAs first, which I think, in some ways they kind of stand alone. But it's just interesting seeing the somberness of the OVAs against the kind of goofiness of the series.
Yeah, I mean, we spoiled ourselves, but I don't necessarily think it was a bad thing because I don't know how hard I would have gotten in the Kenshin series if I hadn't watched the OVA first. Because that OVA just, like, after I saw that, I was all about Kenshin for like the next 5-6 years. It was like all I ever wanted to think about. Friggin' looking up characters, trying to find the manga so I could finish the story, drawing Kenshin all the time. It was just, I loved it so much.
I remember hearing about it a lot. I never watched it, but I might have watched the movie and was like, yeah, that was awesome. But
if you haven't seen it, you need to watch it.
It's pretty good. It's a little old, so just know that.
It's fine.
But it's good. But the OVA is like so much better, so I'm not even really mad that I saw the OVA first because it was just implanted into my memory. Oh, and the soundtrack was amazing too. It's like one of my favorites.
Solid.
One of my favorites. So freaking great.
We should do an episode on anime soundtracks.
Yes, we should. No,
because that's a whole episode.
No.
Wing. The what is it? It was the 90s. I don't know if it's 90s, but like the orchestra hit the bwang.
Yeah.
Bwang! The Mega Man X.
Yeah.
So if you had to pick one favorite from your childhood, let's say pre 2000, if you can remember that far back, what would be your favorite anime movie that you saw before the year 2000?
Oh, I don't know how many I saw before 2000 because it was right around that time when I started getting into anime.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know what happened when.
Let's say pre-college.
Okay,
Yeah,
pre-college,
pre-2003.
2004
Although
for AJ.
I watched a lot of anime in high school, so
yeah,
that's hard to narrow down.
Yeah, but I think that's a good era. That was our burgeoning era of being anime fans.
A solid era of anime.
Yes, lots of good stuff. Man, favorite movie? We're gonna stick with movies, not series.
Either one.
Okay.
I should have had you guys think about this before.
It's all good. We can cut this, edit it.
It's close. Like I think Akira is still up there, and I think the manga Akira makes the movie better. And I didn't read the manga till like college, but I'd seen the movie a couple times. But even after reading the manga and watching the movie again, like that movie still holds up really well.
I'm always good for watching Akira.
Akira's excellent.
You know what else is? I don't know when I saw this, but Princess Mononoke blew my mind.
That was an eye-opener. That was a lot of people's introduction, in our generation at least, to Miyazaki's stuff.
Yeah, and I haven't seen a lot of Miyazaki's other stuff. It's almost like Princess Mononoke ruined the other things because it was just so like epic and awesome and like I don't know, like it scratched all the itches, like the violence and the dope animation and.
Well, it's a Eastern fantasy, which is cool, because we like fantasy. Fantasy's awesome, but so much of it is based on like medieval Europe.
Yeah,
it's cool to have a completely otherworldly fantasy that isn't Japan, but it's loosely based on Japanese stuff. Like they twist it a little bit, so it's a little bit of that Shintoist lore where the animals are gods and stuff like that, but it's not specifically Japanese.
Yeah, it was so like fresh to me that it just blew my mind. And like, I don't know, I think the other one I saw Spirited Away, and I think like I wanted another Princess Mononoke. And I was just like, what is this, man? I don't know. Which, like, if I watched it now, I'd probably appreciate it for what it is, but at the time
I like Spirited Away because I can watch it with my kids. And they like
it. Mononoke is actually pretty fucked up for kids. Like,
no, yeah, it totally is.
It is. That's the one I've been reluctant to show them because I remember some scenes like the dude getting his arms shot.
Oh yeah. No, you don't. No, don't show that to your kids.
The dude's arm getting all purple and crazy, and then the forest god getting killed. Spoiler. Like when his head falls off.
Oh yeah,
like,
and the boar god like gushing like black wormy like guts and stuff.
Yeah, demon curse.
No, that shit
thing.
That shit is raw.
It's dark.
Yeah, it's good.
What was I gonna say? Oh, like I feel like, because like I was on the Dragon Ball Z, waiting for the new episodes to drop. Like it was soul crushing when like you were expecting a new episode. And that was before like you knew everything or could look everything up on the internet.
Right.
But it was like, so you had to like ask somebody like, oh, when are the new episodes coming? And then you knew. It's like, oh shit, that's in 3 weeks. Like I hate my life until then. But like, you're waiting for that next episode, and then they start at the beginning of the saga or whatever. They go back to they like went back to the Saiyans arriving, and I was just like, no. But
literally a kick in the nuts.
Yeah, no, it was awful. But
and there was no warning either. They just did it. And you just had to live with it.
Yeah, I feel like I was maybe 16, maybe, and I feel like Ninja Scroll and that happened when I was, God, I must have been 14 or something, because it definitely happened before. But yeah, way too young to be seeing any of that stuff, but totally grateful for it.
Yeah.
So I mean, Ninja Scroll is the one for me.
Good pick. Man, I can't pick favorite. Well, honestly, I'm gonna have to say the Kenshin OVAs that we already talked about are my favorite, because that'll forever just live in the Hall of Fame for me. Like, there's still music from that soundtrack that I listen to, and I remember the scene in the anime that music was to, and I get emotional. Like, that's how much I love it. However, I already talked about that. I'm going to talk about something else that I haven't mentioned, so it'll be my runner-up just because I want to talk about it. Freaking Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust.
I was going to bring that up when we were talking about how good the animation looked, because Bloodlust is amazing.
Bloodlust is one of those anime that the first time I watched it, I wasn't in love with it because I wanted more fast-paced action. But I watched it again, and then I watched it again, and I'm like, no. This is a masterpiece.
No, that action was solid.
Yeah, it wasn't like the complex action I was looking for, because you don't really ever see D, the main character, getting like a high octane friggin' like I'm doing 10,000 strikes a second sword fight. He kind of slashes and the thing dies, or he like is, I don't know what it's called. There's a term for it, but like he's like locked up sword to sword with somebody, or sword to cape, because the main Dracula dude, his weapon was like his cape would harden,
and they're both like turning red from like heat or some shit. It was just like, what?
Freaking spark in it. So it took me a few like times to watch it before I realized, like, no, dude, this is art. It looks so good. It looks good to this day. It's just so, it goes with that teenage angst. It was so moody and somber. It was just like about these two lovers that all they wanted to do was take a castle spaceship to the moon. It was fucking great. I loved it so much.
Yeah, that's one I need to rewatch because it's been a long time since I've seen it.
But I remember that one. It was like, it felt like it did, because we watched the original Vampire Hunter D, and it was kind of goofy. I think I don't know.
Yeah, I never watched the original one, so I can't say.
I feel like we watched it and it was just kind of like, it was kind of goofy or corny or whatever.
Well, his hand was kind of goofy.
Yeah, his hand
was more like comic relief.
Right, his hand was pretty obnoxious.
The shenanigans that he got into were kind of they're kind of.
Was it a series?
No, it was a movie. It was an OVA.
Okay.
Yeah,
because we watched that and I was like, yeah, but then when Bloodlust came out, it was by like the same people who did something else good, and that's what made me want to watch it.
Was it Aeon Flux? No, it wasn't Aeon Flux.
That's a good guess though.
Or was it? All right, I gotta look it up. Keep talking.
But yeah, I felt like Bloodlust just did the concept justice.
I remember very little of that movie because it's been years since I've seen it.
It's been years for me too, but like when you mentioned,
I do remember it looking very pretty.
Yeah, it looks great.
Just being like badass.
That's one of those things.
What's the other vampire one? Hellsing?
Yeah, I never watched that one. I remember you guys talking about that a lot. But
yeah, Hellsing is solid.
Hellsing was good.
Vampire action.
That was a series though. We're not a movie. We're only supposed to talk about movies, yes. I think. Okay, so
there's no rules here, Marcus. We can do whatever we want.
Okay, so look. So Yoshiaki Kawajiri, he is the director of Bloodlust, and he also is the creator of Wicked City, Ninja Scroll. Oh, okay, yeah. Wicked City and Ninja Scroll.
There you go. Yeah, I was going to say that, but I didn't want to... I don't know. I was afraid.
That's all it took.
I was afraid to be wrong.
Which, now that I think about it, it's pretty obvious because the character designs in Ninja Scroll and Bloodlust are really similar.
Like a lot of like detailed, like a lot of lines and like
they have those long faces, really pointy, thin noses.
Yeah. Everyone looks
thin
like
eyes.
But yeah, oh man, good shit.
God, I need more of that in my life. That old school Japanimation, adult sensibility anime.
Yeah.
Lovely.
I want to have a discussion at some point about American movie adaptations because I was going to mention Alita, Battle Angel Alita, as something I had not seen way back when, but I always remember like seeing in the video store, like I wanted to rent it or wanted to see it, and then I didn't watch it till like last year. It was really good.
Yeah, I still need to catch it.
I missed it.
I still need to catch it because, I didn't hear anybody shit on it, and I was really surprised by that. So I need to watch it.
Oh, wait, are you talking about the American one, or are you talking about the anime? I'm talking about the anime.
Oh, I was talking about the adaptation.
Oh, the adaptation's not bad, though, really. Like, it's entertaining.
Yeah, but the original OVA is good, yeah.
Yeah, the OVA is solid. You gotta watch that. We should have a discussion on American movie adaptations and how generally bad they are, but sometimes they're not.
Yeah,
I have to watch a few of them.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Yeah,
that's
we'll
the thing about that.
We should make a list of the ones that we need to talk about.
That's the thing about that. Did you say what your favorite anime from back in the day was?
I said Akira.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Mm-hmm.
Fair enough.
Akira's good.
What was yours, Marcus?
Mine was Kenshin, but I wanted to talk about Bloodlust for a second.
Right.
Both good movies.
Cool.
All right.
Want to wrap it up?
Yeah, we'll wrap it up. I do some Twitter things. Let me do that again. Thank you for listening. If you want to check out more of the stuff that we get into, I do a Twitter account where I share anime deals. It is twitter.com/brokeotaku. Marcus, you're on YouTube sometimes?
Yeah, I am on YouTube as Baxeto, Baxeto. That is Baxeto. I have a YouTube channel where I put raps up. So I have this series called Bars Over Beats where I take beats from some of my favorite hip-hop producers and electronic producers and I write rap to them. Go check it out. Sometimes you can hear Alan's voice on there too.
Yeah, I do like the raps and stuff and the beats sometimes. I go by Unconomy in most places. That's like economy with a UN instead of an E. because fuck capitalism. No, but
teenage angst.
Yeah, so I got if you Google that name, you'll find my SoundCloud. So there's some shit on there. It's kind of old. I need to update it, but there's some solid stuff on there. Some bangers, if you will.
You also find your GitHub.
Oh shit! I need to delete that GitHub. No, get away from there.
There's not much in there.
No, I'm gonna delete that right now. So yeah, don't
right, folks.
Ignore my GitHub. Go listen to my music.
Don't go to his GitHub, but go to my Twitter and go to Marcus's YouTube and send us messages. If you like what you hear, give us a thumbs up. If you hate what you hear, shut the fuck up. And yeah, just move along and enjoy. And we'll see you guys next week.
Till then,
bye bye.
Peace.